Hey guys, welcome back to week number 3 in the Let's Pop Shop video series, where you will learn everything you need to know to master the art of selling at pop-up events, festivals, farmers markets, any type of event where you are participating as a vendor and selling your products in person to shoppers in real life. Then this video series is for you. So with that, let's dive into our topic for today, and that's all about how to promote the event leading up to the event itself. But before we do, if you did miss week 1 and 2, I will link to them in the description bar down below, and I also plan to link to any future lessons in the description bar down below as well, so make sure to be on the lookout for future lessons. But with that, today I wanted to share the 7 steps that I personally use to get ready to promote my own events, because I've been a vendor for several years now at all sorts of different types of events, and I've tried a bunch of different strategies, and this is what I have found works best for me. So with that, let's get into it. Step number 1 is to reach out to the event organizer to see if they've already created any social media graphics that you can use to promote the event. Because oftentimes I found a lot of different event organizers will actually email me and all of the other vendors with the social media graphics that they have created. And a lot of times they've hired graphic designers to create these graphics. So you can always check to see if they have created any graphics for you, because why reinvent the wheel? You might as well save some time if they've already created some great graphics. But with that leads me to step number 2. And let's say that the event organizer either did not provide any graphics, or you just don't like their graphics. They're not really your style. They don't match your brand's color palette, things like that. Then you can always create your own graphics. And what I like to do is use a website called canva.com. They've got thousands of templates to choose from. It's really easy to use. I'm not going to get into the details of how to create the templates today. Let me know if you would like to see that in the future though. So I actually have 3 objectives that I like to use when I'm thinking about the content I want to create for the event. The first objective is to provide the details of the event. Obviously, you want to let your audience know where the event is located, what the date of the event is, and what the time of the event is. You might even want to let them know what the parking situation is, or if the event costs money, things like that. You want to provide all of the logistical details in a place that your audience can clearly see them and find them, so that when they're thinking about whether to attend or not, they know where to go to find the details. Now, my objective number 2 is to create content that gets the audience excited for the event. So I'll talk more about how to do this in a later step, but just keep that in mind as you are listening to all these steps today. You want to think about, how do I actually get people excited to come to this event? And then lastly, my 3rd objective is to promote the products that I'm planning to sell at the event. So with that, let's move on to step number 3, and that's all about deciding which platforms you want to post to promote the event. And this will really tie in your overall social media strategy or digital marketing strategy. You want to think about where you go to communicate with your existing audience. So for some of you, that might be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, email subscriptions, or even your website itself. You can post about the event on your website. And that leads me to step number 4. How frequently do we want to post about the event on each platform? So with that, what I think would be fun to do is to take a look at an example, and this example is actually the strategy that I used for my last event that I held in March. So here on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see all of the platforms I'm posting to, and then along the top, you can see the timing of each. So let's quickly go through this. About 1 month out, and 1 month out is when I do typically recommend you start promoting the event. I was able to create a post on my Instagram story where I listed all of the events that I had for that month. And you can see that there were 2 in-person pop-up events and 1 virtual event. And then I also created something similar for Facebook. And then moving closer to the event, about 2 weeks out, I sent an email to my email list of local shoppers to let them know about the event. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, how do I create a list of local shoppers? Here's what I do to collect this over the years, and here's what you can do. So basically, when you have these in-person events, what you could do is actually bring a sign-up sheet where your shoppers can sign up to join your email list, and maybe you offer a discount on whatever they're buying in exchange. And that way, when you go back home, you can create this new list of local shoppers. From there, about 1 week out, I did another Instagram story where I was basically just counting down to the event. And I also created an Instagram reel that I was able to repurpose as a TikTok as well, where I took a bunch of clips from previous events that I had done and used them to spotlight this particular event. And I focused on clips where it looked like shoppers were having a lot of fun and some of the perks of the event. I've done this event in the past, so I was able to kind of share some of the things that the event organizers do for the shoppers, like give them free cocktails and give them cute shopping bags and have lots of photo opportunities and all sorts of good things. I think this particular event even gave out flowers, so they all had bouquets, and it was just really fun. I also spotlighted my own booth, some of the products, and then some of the other cute vendors' booths as well. So it's just a way to get people excited for the event. And then I was able to reshare that to my Instagram story. Now, moving even closer to the event, about 2 days before, I realized that the event organizer had created a really fun video promoting the event as well. So I actually was able to share their post to my own story as another way to get people excited for the event. And at this point, I also created an actual Instagram post. You'll notice I haven't been doing a lot of Instagram actual feed posts because that's just not really how I like to use my feed. So it really depends on your strategy, but I did create just one post about the event. And then once we were 1 day out, I sent an email to my local shopper list just to remind them that the event was the next day and they could come out and shop with us in person. And then the day of the event, I did an Instagram story and a Facebook post just to remind them today's the day. And then I did a bunch of behind the scenes of getting set up for the event, as well as just highlighting the event throughout the day, some of my products, some of the shoppers, and just fun things like that. And then lastly, the day after the event, I was able to create kind of like a recap of the event Instagram reel. Again, repurposed it for TikTok. And I used it as an opportunity to thank everyone who came out to support the event, all of my shoppers, everyone who made purchases, and basically instilled some FOMO in all of my followers who were not able to come because the event was awesome and it looked super fun in the video. So you can do something like that, share it to your reel, share it as a reel, and then also share it on Facebook as well. And that way people will definitely want to make sure that they come to your next event. Okay, let's move on to step number 5, which is all about creating the content itself. And this step is really a continuation of step number 2, where we talked about creating graphics using a website like Canva. So let's say that you've already used Canva to create your text graphics where you're providing the details of the event. Well, let's think about what other type of content we can use to meet that second objective I mentioned, which is getting people excited about the event. So as I mentioned when I was walking you guys through what I did last month, I think it's really great if you can use content you've created from past events or clips you've taken from past events and use that to promote your next event. But let's say that this is your first event ever and you don't have any existing content to pull from. That's okay. You can always do other things like focus more on behind the scenes content where you are getting ready for the event. Or maybe you want to focus more on previewing the products that you're going to plan to bring to the event. Actually, one time last December, I was doing an event. It was a holiday event that had a theme, and I was able to actually buy a sweatshirt related to that theme. And I posted that sweatshirt. It wasn't on my website yet, but I posted it on my Instagram story 2 days before the event and also shared some information about the event. So it was very obvious that the sweatshirt was related to the theme of the event. but I had several people DM me on Instagram and actually ask me to save them one of those sweatshirts because they wanted to buy it at the event. So it's actually a great way to promote the event if you're launching a brand new collection that's not currently on your website. Maybe you're never going to put it on your website and it's only available at pop-up events, or maybe you're going to put it on your website after the event. You can think of different ways to promote collections or products or whatever, works for you. And again, you can also check to see what type of content the event organizer is creating and potentially repurpose some of that content to your own story. So if it's an event that they've done in the past and they have videos, you can reshare those videos to your story. So you can think about different ways that you can promote the event leading up to it through engaging content. Now with that, let's move on to step number 6, which is all about discounts, promotions, giveaways, and contests. So why would your audience want to shop with you in real life if they can just order your products online? Well, maybe one example is you offer a discount on a particular product, collection, or maybe all of your products. You can let your audience know that everything will be 10% off the day of the event and only the day of the event in person, as opposed to paying full price online. Another idea is maybe you have a giveaway. So it could be something where you're giving something small away to every single shopper that walks by your booth, or maybe it's a giveaway that you're giving to anyone that purchases from you, so that way you don't have to buy as many of whatever you're giving away. It could be something small like a hair clip. There's all sorts of different ideas. And then you could also consider holding a contest. So this contest, it could be as simple as the first 10 shoppers get a freebie, or the first 10 shoppers get 50% off their order, or maybe it's the 10th shopper gets a prize, or the 20th shopper gets a prize. You can really have fun brainstorming different ideas and just thinking about what you can do to get people excited for your event and to shop with you in person. And then lastly, that leads me to step number 7, which is just to consider additional promotional methods. So this could be partnering with local influencers. And by influencers, I probably would focus primarily on micro influencers. So rather than try to work with someone with millions of followers and probably has high expensive fees, you could probably find a local influencer with maybe 20,000 followers, 50,000 followers. And what you want to look for is someone who has a similar audience as your target audience. So they have a similar style maybe to the clothes you sell, or if you are someone who has a very niche product that's like, a special type of candle that is related to outdoorsy things. I don't really know what I'm saying. Ignore that. But you can think about an influencer with a similar style to the product you're selling. Obviously, you know your brand and what style you have. So find an influencer with a similar style. And you can also think about traditional advertising or advertising on Facebook or Instagram to get people, you target a local audience and get them excited about the event and let them know all the details through ads. There's all sorts of different ways that you can think about how to promote the event. Now, with that, those were all my 7 steps. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment down below, or you can even join our brand new Facebook group where I'm actually going to be answering all of your questions in real time. And it's also a great place where you can network with other vendors and hear and learn about their experiences as well. I also have an email list that you can sign up for, and I'm giving away some good content, some good downloads for things like how to plan your pop-up event, how to find pop-up events, and also I'm going to create a cheat sheet for promoting your event so you can have a nice little document that provides you all of the steps that we talked about today. And in the future, I'm going to be launching a pop-up app that will help you find pop-up events to join and all sorts of other good features that I'll be sharing more about when it's ready. It should be launched later this year, so I'll share more updates on the email list and the Facebook group about that as well. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.